Hello everybody, this is T with Kate's Crafty Closet, and today we're going to make this clean and simple rainbow card using one of the new products from the Simon Hurley and Ranger release, and a few other products as well. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started. So the first thing we're going to use is, this is the stamping foam from Simon Hurley Creates and Ranger. What it does is like you can impress different things and then stamp with it. So I'm going to show you how to use that today. Like I said, you get a pack of 4 for $4.99, and I'll link to all the products that I use today in the description box below. A lot of it can be found at katescraftycloset.com, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. So here is my stamp foam. So it looks like it's already been used, so it's kind of loved already. It's really kind of cool. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the impression. I am using a Tim Holtz stamp set. This one's called Marble and Doily. So I'm going to use the marble part for this card today. We do have from Simon Hurley's new release a marble stamp set. So I also will link that in the description box below. So the first thing you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to heat this up. I'm going to put it on low. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds. You can see how it changes. The look of it gets a little shiny-ish. So you just want to warm it up. And then I'm just going to go ahead and push down on it. And you'll see that you get the impression of wherever you put on that stamp. And this is one I did earlier for the demo card. We're just going to go ahead and use that side. So we're going to put that away. We're going to bring in a panel. This is just some white cardstock, and I use the Wonky Stitch rectangle die from MFT, which we also had in the store. And then you remember we have our A2 size card. I'm using a black base, and this means this is 4 1/4 by 5.5 standard A2 size card. And I just went ahead and put a little small scrap of white paper on the inside for a handwritten greeting. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to use is some Rockin' Red ink from Catherine Pooler. These are water reactive, so just be kind of careful as you go along into the other parts of the process. So I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm just swipe across. And if you don't want them harsh edges on, like from the edge, just what I have been doing is just taking my microfiber cloth and just on the corner. See how I'm getting that little edge off? Kind of, if you like the harsher edges, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we're just going to stamp it. So there's our red. I'm going to clean it off. I'm not going to get super concerned about cleaning it 100% because I'm okay with that. So next up we have a Catherine Pooler ink. I'm using all Catherine Pooler inks today. Mandarin Spice. Okay, so same thing. You've got to come in and just swipe on there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that harsh, so I don't get that harsh edge. And you're still going to get a little bit of one, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. So there was our orange. And we're going to come in with a yellow tiki torch. And then just swipe. Yellow is kind of light, so I'm not really going to take the edges off of that. So there's our yellow. Okay. Then we're going to come in with some green. This is Grass Skirt. Going to do the same thing. We're just going to swipe. I will take off the edge on that, and there's our green. And we're going to come in with blue. Like I said, this microfiber cloth has a little bit of dampness to it to take care of that. So that's our blue, which is called Something Borrowed. And I will take off those edges. I'm doing the best I can to line them up. If it overlaps a little bit, that's totally 100% okay with me. Okay? And then our purple color. You can use any ink you want to. Royal Treatment. is our purple. I'm just going to do that one. And grab that. And like I said, do my best. Line it up. Okay, I'm going to go back to our beginning color, which was the red, which was the tiki torch. And be careful not to smudge my paper because I just got ink on my finger. Well, rockin' red, my bad. Did I say something like tiki torch? I think I said, which is yellow color. So I'm going to go ahead with the rockin' red. Okay, get rid of that harsh edge, and I'm okay. And then we'll probably have to do our orange again, which is the Mandarin Spice. And the great thing about those little stamping foams is like you reuse them. You just heat it up and it goes away. Your impression that you had on there goes away, and you can just use another one. So this one we're going to overstamp because we don't need the whole thing. And that's great. I'm just going to wipe that up so we don't get any ink anywhere else. And I'm going to actually use the some embossing powder on top, which is holographic. So make sure this is dry before you put embossing powder on it. Otherwise, it may bleed because it is a water reactive ink. I already have one that I know that is dry. So I'm going to come in with a Versamark pad, and I'm just going to push down on it to get it full of ink. Okay, and we're going to come in with a scrap piece of paper. Earlier I used, on the first one, I used this one from Ranger, which is called Frosted Crystal. But this time around, I'm going to go ahead and try, I think I have, it's called Holographic, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure if I can even find it, you know, at this moment. So I guess I'm just going to go ahead and use that Frosted Crystal after all, because I thought I had the holographic sitting right next to me on my desk, but I guess I don't. So, but that's okay. So we're just going to come ahead with this Frosted Crystal. I'm sure now that I'm using it, the other one will pop up. I'm just going to select, of course, you can see the coverage because it dulled it up a little bit. So I'm sure the other one will pop up knowing that I'm done with the embossing part. So I'm just going to go ahead and be careful and put that back in there. Like, I'm just using one that's you can see through and it's clear. So that's why I just chose to use the Frosted Crystal. I wanted to use the holographic because it has a, well, holographic look to it, right? So I'm just going to put this on super high and go ahead and melt it. And once I get an edge or two, I'll pull it up. You want the heat to be able to go through the whole paper. And it just gives it a different little effect on it. Like I said, you can use clear or any color that you want. You'll notice that as the embossing powder melts, it becomes more shiny and that dull part goes away. I love the magic of embossing powder. It's just fun to watch it melt and do its thing. And basically all it is plastic. Tiny particles of plastic that just melt. Okay, so now that we got that done, give that a moment to kind of, you know, dry. It doesn't take long. You can feel it pretty good. I'm just, as I'm sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and put some foam squares on the back, and then I'll bring in our base and our panel. And then we're going to bring in, I have a die cut that just, see what I told you, the holographic's going to show up. And it was sitting here right next to me. I have this happy die that I've had in my stash for quite some time. I went ahead and cut that out of some black cardstock. Now I'm just going to come in with some wet glue. Today we're using art glitter glue. You can use any kind of wet glue if you want, whatever you want. It's kind of whatever you desire. Okay, I'm just trying to get as much as I can onto there. And I guess I'm grabbing some tweezers. These are reverse tweezers. So I can kind of, I'm just going to put it on there. I'm not going to press down on it so I know I get it where I want it and kind of, sort of, maybe straight. Not always good at that. So I'm just going to push down on that. And I have a little bit of glue, so we'll just come in. And that will dry clear, so don't be concerned about that. Okay. Then I had this birthday, which I just stamped out. It had happy birthday on it, so I just trimmed it down with some scissors. And we're just going to go ahead and put some glue on there. And we're just going to put the birthday on there. Once we get it to where we want it, we're going to just press down on it. Just kind of do your thing. Like whatever you make, whatever you want to do, just go do this, okay? I'm going to come in with some foam squares. Like these are like my favorite foam squares that I pick up anytime I see them at the Dollar Tree. So let's just go ahead and put these on the back. Well, I probably should have did the other part of the card, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. All right, so and you can embellish this up any way you want. And I know I had double-sided tape on here already, and there's no need for it. I usually pre-cut a lot of my panels ahead of the time, and have them sitting on my desk so I can just grab them and not have to pull out my dies, pull out my machine, and it just makes some things a little bit easier. Okay. Now that we have that, now the last thing I'm gonna do, I was gonna put like sequins on here, and I was gonna look for some gems. I'm like, I think I'm gonna skip that part, and I decided to go ahead with some VersaFine Clair. This is the Nocturne, and I grabbed a pencil with eraser that never been used, which this day and age, I don't think I can tell you the last time I really used a pencil to write with. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to randomly put dots, and you can make them as dark or as light as you want. I'm basically going to call this confetti on my card since it's a happy birthday. I'm using it as confetti. You can do second, even third generation, just so you have a different. And I'm just randomly putting them on here. I'm not really having no rhyme or reason. I'm not actually counting. I do put some off the side of the panel here. And you can always go back and add more if you need it. I always say less is more, and then you realize it when you're doing it. Oh, okay, that needs one here, or it needs one there. You can kind of do that. This is just to help, bring the eye into the happy part. So I think I'm satisfied with that, and put that to the side. And basically, I would just take off those foam squares and put our card on there. Pen on that, which I'm not going to do that, so you don't have to sit there and watch that, but that is our card for today. I want to thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Make sure you check out the store at katescraftycloset.com. As again, I'll do my best to link all the stuff that I use in the video for today. And like I said, thank you all and have a crafty day, y'all.